Hey everyone, this is Mike and today we're talking about Dancer, the last ranged on the list. I gotta say, I've always been a fan of Dancer. I thought the design of the job was really well done back in Shadowbringers, and not a whole lot has changed going into Endwalker. There were some changes to the pre-Endwalker Dancer, and then everything else that we got just built upon the solid foundation that was built back in Shadowbringers. So let's start with these pre-Endwalker changes. There's one that I don't particularly like, but I can see why they made a change. This being that your Flourish procs are now shared between single target and AoE. For the most part, this doesn't really change too much, since your single target GCDs would only proc your single target flourishes, same thing for your AoE, but it does affect your Flourish ability. Instead of getting 4 Flourish GCDs, we now only get to use 2, and to me that is a little bit unfortunate for 2 reasons. One is purely me liking stuff that goes away from the standard, aka the fact that you had to get into melee range for those 2 AoE flourishes. The second reason is the fact that 2 less flourish skills also means 2 less chances to get feathers. Them making it so that you don't need to get into melee range anymore sorta makes sense, seeing how you're a ranged physical DPS, but it added something extra to the gameplay that I did quite enjoy, so I'm a bit sad to see that go, but I also don't mind it too much. Less chances to get feathers though is the bigger thing, but that is also somewhat alleviated with the addition of Fan Dance 4. This is a new off-global cooldown that becomes available when using Flourish, and this deals AoE damage. So all things considered, the change isn't too bad. Another change is to your Esprit generation. So previously this was completely random. Every time you hit a GCD, or whenever a party member under the effect of the Esprit buff hit a GCD, you had a chance to generate some Esprit. Now it's semi-random. Your normal global cooldowns grant you 5, and your Flourish global cooldowns grant you 10. The part where your party members generate some for you has remained the same. Every global cooldown that they use has a chance to grant you 10 Esprit. I really like this change, because now there is a consistent build-up leading into your Saber Dance, whereas before it was all up to RNG. Then the last change to Old Dancer is to improvisation. So the ability is completely different now. It no longer generates Esprit for you, and it no longer grants the healing up buff. Instead, it now grants a regen over time heal, and if you hold the ability active for a little while, you'll also start stacking up rising rhythm stacks that you can then change into a shield by pressing the improvised finish ability. More stacks means a bigger shield. In a full uptime scenario, this means that you can give your team a heal every 2 minutes, and the heal isn't so bad either. If there's ever downtime with a raid-wide following set downtime, then you can dance for a few seconds and then grant your team a shield to mitigate the incoming damage. It might be possible to double weave improv plus the shield, but then you'd probably have to get super lucky with server ticks or something, because it's always taken too long for me to get a rhythm stack before my GCDs rolled over. So in a realistic scenario, if you wanted to shield with this, it would be during downtime, or you're most likely going to be sacrificing some uptime for it, but I do really enjoy this change. So let's move into our new stuff. Talana. This is an extra finisher that comes off from your technical finish. So you dance your technical, finish the dance with technical finish, and then you can use Talana as a follow-up to that. You also don't need to use it immediately, but you still want to fit it inside of your technical window. The reason why I love this skill so much is because it fixed an issue that I had with the old Dancer. Before, during the opener, you would finish dancing and then you had to press 2 of global cooldowns, Devilment and Flourish. But because you get that fast 1.5 second recast timer after your technical finish, you could only weave 1 of these. So it felt bad having to use a Flourish GCD before I was able to get my Devilment up. Talana takes care of this, because now you can weave Devilment after technical, and then you can weave Flourish after using Talana. I know that in the standard opener we use our new level 90 skill before Talana, but up to that point this is how you would do it. And even then, I doubt it makes a very big difference if you change the position of Talana and Starfall Dance in your opener, so I'm a fan. On top of fixing this issue that I had, it also grants you these standard finish buffs, but I don't really think that this is all too impactful. Maybe in some scenarios where downtime is involved, or maybe a fight comes along where you want to use technical instead of standard first, and then this will make a small difference over there. So overall, a great addition to the kit. Fan Dance 4 I already touched upon before. You press Flourish and then you get a buff that allows one usage of this ability, deals some AoE damage in front of you and makes you pose like the Sabotenders from On the Moon. Outside of that, nothing really to say about this ability. And then we have Starfall Dance. This becomes available after we use Devilment, and using Devilment grants us a buff during which we can use Starfall Dance. The skill itself is a global cooldown that is a guaranteed direct hit crit that deals AoE damage in a line in front of you. So in that sense it sort of goes against the effects of Devilment because that boosts your crit and direct hit rate, but Starfall Dance hits really hard, so you still want to use it underneath your 2-minute raid buffs. Although I guess the raid buffs only increase your chances at direct hit critting, and this is always going to be guaranteed. Nevertheless, it's a new button that we can press, and this together with Talana makes our burst window quite fun. So overall, the only negative thing that I have to say about Dancer is the change to Flourish, where we don't get to use our melee skills anymore, but that is only really felt during the 1-minute Flourish, because during our 2-minute Flourish, where we have all of our other stuff up, we're pressing plenty of other buttons that you don't really notice the absence of the 2 melee skills. Outside of that one minor grievance, it's all been great changes, and I'm really starting to question if Machinist is still going to be my go-to range this expansion, because while Machinist is good fun, Dancer is as well. So maybe when I'm looking to bring the deeps myself, I'll go Machinist, and when I'm playing with people that I know are really good, I'll just go Dancer instead, because I've always thought the job design for this one was great, and the changes that we've gotten in Endwalker might have just pushed it over the edge where I want to play it more. And Bard is also still there, which has also felt really good, so I'm really not sure which of the three is going to be my go-to range, because all three are quite nice, but I think Dancer and Machinist might still peek out on top. But that's gonna do it for today's video, so I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.